Good day, fleshy mammals.
It's me, the man, the myth, the dead fox on the road, FnafFan Productions. And welcome to part 2 of the cool and edgy FNaF ripoff movie review. So if you haven't already watched part 1, I reviewed the 2018 Hulu short film The Hug and the Banana Splits movie from 2019, and I ranted about why they are the most atrocious things ever. I had fun making it, it blew up, and people had a lot of stupid things to say.
Hey y'all, come look at this!
I absolutely dislike this video because simply this guy did not give two craps for these and was all out aggressive when it came to hating.
Anyway, now it's time to hop back into the FNaF ripoff movie rabbit hole by looking at our final batch of ripoff movies, which are Willy's Wonderland from 2021 and Freddy's Friday from last year. Use the timestamps to skip around, and everything I say is my opinion. Get the fuck over it. Okay, let's get reviewing. What happens when you take FNaF, make a movie with the most unoriginal writing and poorly written characters ever, and then throw in guest star Nicolas Cage? The kids won't save us! You get Willy's Wonderland. So Willy's Wonderland is a Five Nights at Freddy's inspired movie made in 2021. Ah yes, the year when I made... yeah... starring Nicolas Cage as the main character. The man who appeared in such great classics such as... the CGI movie of the Astro Boy anime.
Good morning, son.
Anyways, time for the £1 million question. Is Willy's Wonderland a good movie? No, it certainly wasn't a wonderland for my penis. Fucking hell, I need to get laid. But what makes me say that? Well, in my opinion, yeah, did you hear that? My opinion. Willy's Wonderland has a lot of issues. For one, it's really unoriginal. The Banana Splits movie was at least a bit original with its setting and characters. Willy's Wonderland, however, is just a complete carbon copy of FNaF. Don't believe me? Well, here's why. Restaurant with animatronics? Check. Possess animatronics? Check. Even the lore and the story of this movie is unoriginal. Speaking of which, the story and the writing is also really terrible. So the lore of this film is basically a notorious serial killer by the name of... along with his 7 accomplices who are also serial killers, opens up the animatronic restaurant Willy's Wonderland with the intention of luring families and slaughtering them. Wow, how fucking original is that? Also, why the fuck would Jerry want 7 other killers to do the killing when Jerry could easily do this all by himself? But oh, I wonder if this will be important later. The police eventually find out what's been going on and they head to the restaurant to arrest the killers, only for them to find out that Jerry and his accomplices committed suicide by performing a satanic ritual to transfer their souls into the animatronics?
What?
Okay, I mean, they could have easily have just shut their restaurant down and fled the country or something. I mean, they go away with murdering families, so it's not like it ain't easy for these guys to escape from the police. So after that whole shitfest, Willy's Wonderland closes down after several incidents of the animatronics moving on their own and swearing.
Wanna fuck, daddy?
But then the animatronics go around the town murdering the residents. So then the sheriff, the restaurant's owner Tex, and a mechanic by the name of Jed make a deal with the animatronics to offer them human sacrifices in exchange for the animatronics to stop murdering people in the town. Okay, how does this make any sense? If the animatronics are a danger to your town, then why not just, I don't know, demolish the restaurant with the animatronics inside it? But oh, I wonder if this will be important later. And so now we enter the plot of the film with good old Nicky Cage. So the plot of Willy's Wonderland is that Nicolas Cage's car breaks down in Hayesville, North Carolina. America, fuck yeah! Jed the mechanic then offers to fix Nick's car, and he later takes him to the rundown Willy's Wonderland, where Tex offers Nicholas to work as a night shift janitor in exchange for Jed repairing Nick's car. Nicholas heads on inside, and Ted traps him inside the restaurant for the animatronics to kill him. Then throughout the film, Nicolas Cage does some cleaning, playing pinball, and...
oh shit.
2 kids gone die tonight!
Then a couple of teenagers who have no real importance to the plot at all. I mean, they literally get killed a couple of minutes later. Break into the restaurant and reveals to Nicolas Cage about what has happened at the restaurant and why the animatronics are alive and homicidal. Then they die, who cares? A whole battle scene with Nick and Willy the Weasel happens, then Nicolas Cage successfully escapes the restaurant. Okay, now my next problem with this movie has to do with Nicolas Cage. So for some reason, Nicolas Cage's character does not speak at all in the movie. He's just a silent bloke who cleans the restaurant and he drinks soda a lot. He has this running gag where he just drinks soda a lot. I don't know why the creators thought it would be funny because it's not really funny in my opinion. Now apparently it wasn't the creators' decision to have Nicolas Cage's character to be silent. Apparently it was a decision made by Nicolas Cage himself to have his character silent because he barely had any speaking roles in the film anyway, and he wanted to experiment with communicating with expressions and movement rather than words. Now, of course, there is nothing wrong with having some fun when you're in a movie, but in my opinion, the end result was quite bad. Nicolas Cage not talking at all in this movie just made him look like he did not give a shit about his role at all. Not only that, but it also makes the movie produce the most awkward scenes ever. Even when the teenagers reveal to him about what has happened at Willy's Wonderland, he just stands there like he's not giving a shit at all. And when Nicolas Cage brutally destroys the animatronics, he just silently walks away and drinks soda. It's not making his character look like a badass, it's not funny, it's just nothing. If anything, he's just acting like a really poorly developed Oblivion NPC. Okay, so now putting the movie's issues to one side, is there anything good about Willy's Wonderland? Well again, like I said in the Banana Splits movie review from part 1, the gore in this movie is really impressive. This is a reoccurring positive thing I like about these rip-off movies, where the creators of these movies wanted to go balls out gore as fuck. Unlike the Five Nights at Freddy's movie, where they kept the gore to a bare minimum as to not scare the little idiots. So again, great job on the gore in this movie. The battle scenes with Nicolas Cage and the animatronics are also pretty good, although I will say though that the editing for these scenes are not really good. For some reason, the editors decided to put in a lot of fast cuts, really weird zooming and shaking effects during a fight scene. It looked like either a bunch of Bollywood editors were editing these, or if Premiere Pro was having a seizure while rendering them. Other than that though, they were pretty entertaining to watch. They reminded me of those fight scenes in the Transformers movies. I don't know why either.
You'll never stop at one. I'll take it.
Aside from that, this movie really sucks. The creators clearly tried to make the movie as good as they can with the budget and the resources they had, but despite that, this film sucks. Okay, I'm bored, on to the next one. So now it's time to take a look at the more recent addition to the rip-off movie landfill, Freddy's Friday, a movie that was released last year. I was rather surprised to find out that this movie was released last year, as I have never even heard about this movie at all. Although that's probably a good thing, to be honest, because this movie
is so bad.
I know I've said this a lot with all of the other rip-off movies I've looked at in this video and in part 1, but Freddy's Friday is another level of bad. Not even laughably bad, where you could still watch it and get some enjoyment out of it. I'm talking about a level of bad that it would make your face disintegrate. But why though? Why isn't Freddy's Friday
Cool and edgy.
Okay, that's the last time I'm doing that joke now. Okay, so why do I think Freddy's Friday is bad? Well, my one subscriber in Brazil, because that's what YouTube tells me, I'm gonna play a little mind game with you. Take a look at the poster of Freddy's Friday. What would you think this movie would be about? You might think that,
Well, surely Freddy's Friday must be about a bunch of murderous animatronics in a restaurant called Freddy's Friday, right?
well, you're wrong, because that's not what this film is about. It's not even about murderous animatronics in general. Heck, there's not even a character called Freddy in this. What Freddy's Friday is actually about is that basically a detective is going on a case to stop a man luring people underground where people in costumes await to kill them. That's it. So, it's a copy of Five Nights at Freddy's, but at the same time it isn't. Oh, my brain is fucking killing me. So I probably shouldn't even be reviewing this because it's not really Five Nights at Freddy's at all. It's just a shitty attempt at mascot horror, like everything in that genre, with a poster that's similar to the FNAF movie poster in order to fool people into believing that this is the actual FNAF movie. But fuck it, I'm reviewing it anyway. Okay, so the first issue I have noticed with this movie is that the writing is really poor. It's the equivalent of a Class 800, it's a broken mess. Throughout the movie, there's a bunch of stuff that the characters say and then it never gets mentioned again. Like, for example, the main character, because I don't give a fuck what her name is, wants to solve her case so badly because her sibling was kidnapped by a serial killer.
Finding these girls, it's not gonna bring Sarah back. She's...
Don't, Johann. Don't do that.
No, I'm just saying. I know this one might hit close to home.
Don't bring my sister into this.
The fact that Sarah was taken when you were a kid, that shouldn't be the reason that you run headfirst into danger all the time. I'm just trying to...
I need some time alone.
Huh, that's pretty interesting. It's weird that I've already seen something like this before, though. It's quite strange. And does the film ever mention that again? No. There's not even a massive reveal where the villain says, "I killed your sibling," or whatever. She just says it, then it never gets mentioned. Also, speaking of the main villain, I will admit Freddy's Friday at least gave the villain a lot of screen time and it focused heavily on this guy. Unlike the Five Nights at Freddy's movie, where the villain just gets revealed at the end of the movie, even though it already gave it away at the beginning. So good job on that, but that's the only good thing I can think about him. The rest are just negatives. So what the main villain does in a nutshell is that he made a deal with the mascot to bring a woman deep underground in the middle of the night every Friday. Oh boy, any joke I might make about this is going to get me in trouble. Now, I don't really have any problems with the main villain himself. I only have problems with what he does. Like, why do the mascots specifically ask for women to go down with this guy underground? Why can't it be families or other men too? The film doesn't even explain why. All it says is that the guy got money in exchange. Capitalism at its best. Okay, I'm getting bored of complaining about this now. So yeah, you could probably tell at this point that Freddy's Friday is really atrocious. Apparently the company that made this was Jagged Edge Productions, the same company that made Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. So in that case, it was bound to be shit when this movie was announced then. The writing is bad, it's unoriginal.
Bad.
Okay, so that concludes my review of the FNAF rip-off movies. So what did we learn in our two-part adventure? Well, I think what we learned from this is that some people need to stay away from any movie studio. Why do Hollywood studios constantly greenlight this shit when they know these movies won't make huge money and they will never get seen in cinemas? I will never know. But honestly, seeing that Hollywood has been constantly pumping out garbage for such a long time, I don't think will ever change. And rip-off movies will continue plaguing the earth. So yeah, that's the end of the video. Thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed it. To everyone who watched part 1, I hope it was worth the wait. Be sure to like, share and subscribe, follow my socials, and I will see you in the next video.
Cheerio, mates.